Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing fantastic and that you're all having an absolutely incredible day. Welcome back to another edition of Rich Person Talks, and we're all supposed to listen. For those of you who've missed videos over the course of the last, I want to say month, give or take, it's been somewhere within that time frame. We tend to generally always get price predictions about Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, where prices are going, how high they're going to go, the bull run, etc. But for some reason, the last month or so has been kind of like relatively bombarded once again by wealthy people telling everyone else that now is the time to buy. Now's the time to get into the cryptocurrency market. Now's the time to be accumulating. And it's the weird part for those of you who don't understand the irony there is that me and you, get news quite frequently that there's a companies called Sentiment and Glassnode and the other new third one that's also been popping up in the news, where we have already seen that whales and rich people have been buying over the course of the last 2 years. The moments that prices began to fall, whales began to buy. We also have the news before that I think it's something around, 80 to 85% of all Bitcoin is being 85%. Think of that number. 85% is being held by the richest people on the planet, the whales who've been buying continuously over the course of the last decade or so. However, with the speculative energy fury that we've been getting as of late about the speculation of where prices are going to go, how high things are going to be, Bitcoin's price in 2024, 2025. We just had Arthur Hayes, I think the former CEO, I think it was BitMEX, who said that he believes, for those of you who missed it, that Bitcoin is going to $625,000 or to $1 million. And that's his like 2025, 2026 time frame. And then he's expecting it to go high. You get the general idea. There was a rich person 2 days ago as well who also said something similar. He's like, yeah, now's the time to get into the market. I've never loved Bitcoin more. Rah, 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 rah. So now we have yet another rich person who has once again announced, and the weird reasoning behind a lot of this for me is that these people they want to be in the spotlight. That's a nice way of saying it. They want to be in the public eye concerning cryptocurrencies. And we've seen this multiple times. We've seen people come out of the woodworks. Other crypto YouTubers do the exact same thing, and they say, I believe that Bitcoin's going to go to this number. And it's always like a very obvious number. It's not like they're saying anything like wildly prophetic. They're simply like, Bitcoin hit 70,000 before. Bitcoin's definitely going to go to 71,000. Bitcoin goes to 71,000, and everyone's like, how did he know that? It's always the same things over and over. So if this is your first cycle, welcome. If you've been here before for multiple cycles, you know that now roughly is normally the time where prices normally begin to rise as we get closer to the actual Bitcoin halving. January is usually kind of the tipping point. Like January, we get like definitive news. Bitcoin's halving is in 16 weeks. Everyone ends up going insane. There are countdowns all over the place. It ends up on mainstream news and yada, yada, yada. The public gets into it. The price rises. Everyone goes insane. So now at this logically definitive moment where if you've been here for multiple other cycles, you know that the price logically, if we follow the other cycles, is going to rise again. We now have these rich people coming out of the woodwork saying, hey, I feel like something big is about to happen, and saying things as, you get what I'm saying? They're saying the obvious, but it ends up making very, very big news all over the place. In a recent interview with CNBC, billionaire hedge fund manager, his name is Paul Tudor Jones, expounded, wow, SAT word, on his bullish stance on Bitcoin Amidst mounting global tensions and economic uncertainties, Jones, an influential figure in the investment world, it happens when you become rich. Like a lot of these people, if you look into like their backgrounds, not saying this one particular person, but you'd be a bit terrified and shocked if you looked at how unintelligent many of these people actually are. A lot of people confuse intelligence with money, and that's not always the case. Jones, an influential figure in the investment world, highlighted the current global political environment, economic thing that's been going on. We've been going over it for a while. Things aren't looking too hot. As he says, as one of the most threatening and challenging, he has ever witnessed, and emphasized the importance of diversity when it comes to asset classes such as Bitcoin and gold. What was the one that we were just talking about? Someone else, like a day or two ago, just mentioned that the sky was falling. Who was it? I remember. I don't know. Anyway, we also recently had that article from Forbes who said that they think that the US dollar is going to collapse, but everyone's been predicting this since the 1970s, and they're talking about they foresee, $8 trillion entering the cryptocurrency market. I think, I think that would be like a 2 or 3x from the previous all-time highs or something along those lines. Jones told CNBC, he said, "I love gold and Bitcoin together. I think they probably take on a larger percentage of your portfolio than they would historically, because we're going to go through both a challenging political time here in the US, and we've obviously got a geopolitical situation," end quote. I still don't understand. Now, hear me out here, true believers or people who can read numbers. Why anyone would still have gold other than like if you're going to put it in your teeth, or like you want like a really pretty like necklace or like a bracelet or like an ankle bracelet. I think that's still a thing. Like it's not like 2001 anymore, but I think that's still a thing. Like you can look at the charts and you can see that gold has not done well in the last 14 years compared to anything. So I still always, is it like because people want a stable coin, but in the form of like a physical piece of heavy metal that you have to then anyway, the point is, very popular news because he's Paul Tudor Jones. He's kind of like, I was going to say Batman, but that gives him too much credit. He's like this weird figure in the cryptocurrency space who kind of like only appears. He's not Santa either. He just like appears like once a year to tell us that like we should do stuff, or like that crypto is on the up and up or something, like kind of that thing. We probably won't hear from this man again until like maybe mid 2024 or something. I'm not really sure, but the fact that Paul Tudor Jones said that he likes gold and Bitcoin, and he foresees gold and Bitcoin rising in this geopolitical economic time. I mean, sure. After being in the market for so long, I follow a very easy and simple mindset. Just do it. Like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. We ourselves, like me and you, we cannot push back any geopolitical situation. Like we cannot literally force it back with our own hands. We can't stop market movements. There's no need to be like panicked about them because we can't control them. So we keep hearing that the US dollar is going to collapse. Do it. Show me, please. Someone show me this great collapse that we are going to see. I keep hearing that Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million. Show me. Where's the $1 million Bitcoin? Is now the right time to buy Bitcoin and get into the cryptocurrency space? I think it's kind of always a good time to get in, especially if you've been accumulating over the course of the last couple of years at lower prices than everyone else. Now is not the exact moment that you need to be buying, because what if you bought tomorrow? Yesterday was the right time. Is now today still the... You understand what I'm saying? Very popular news. Maybe next Wednesday? That sounds about correct. We're probably going to have another rich person who comes out to tell us how much they love Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and how much Bitcoin they have and how Bitcoin's the thingamajig that's going to save the world. So wonderful. Good job, Paul Tudor Jones, telling us how much money you have and also that it's time to buy the thing that we've been buying for a number of years, but now you're saying that it's the time to buy. So that only tells me he probably was filling up his pockets over the course of the last year when we didn't hear from him. News. And yeah. Let's move on. Next up, also in very popular news, it was recently announced, spoken about somewhere, about Ethereum and the potential for an Ethereum price movement and where things are going to go and how high things might potentially be in the future. And maybe it says it on one of these things. I think a bank said it. Standard Chartered or something. I don't know. Who announced that they think that Ethereum is going to hit $8,000 per coin. And it says before, logically, you can't hit, 35,000 before 8,000. And then when it goes to 8,000, they're expecting an Ethereum price of $35,000 per coin. And therefore, the coin is absolutely incredible then. A lot of the price predictions that we get within the cryptocurrency space, to my view, are often a little bit weird. And I don't know if they give these numbers because these are the actual things that are popping up on their charts, or if they are just really bad with numbers and maybe got in recently into the cryptocurrency space. And I'll put it to you this way. Historically, we see that altcoins of all shapes and sizes tend to outperform Bitcoin regardless of movements. If Bitcoin goes up 10%, altcoins tend to go up by 15 to 20% over the course of the same movement cycle. The idea is that we are potentially looking at a 150, a 200,000, or a 250. I'm punching myself on the leg. Or a $250,000 Bitcoin sometime in the next 18 months. That's the general story that keeps popping up as to where people think Bitcoin is going to go during the euphoric phase of 2025. On that same note, this would equate to roughly around a 3 or 4x, 14, a good, 3 to 4x. From Bitcoin's previous all-time high of rounding it up to 70,000 US dollars. That would mean that at the same time, Ethereum's previous all-time high was, I believe, 4,800. That means that Ether would barely even double from its previous all-time high, which doesn't seem believable at all. It is the most used blockchain that we have on the planet and is an altcoin. And due to previous price movements, we can only assume that this coin is probably going to at least double. Think of that from a basis standpoint. When you look at the rest of the cryptocurrency market, and usually every cycle as prices are going up, of course you have the coins that do the 10x, the 20x, you have the miraculous. If you bought Toenail Coin back 18, 19 months ago, oh my gosh, it went up by 18,000%. That's incredible. You knew to buy a toenail, and look at how rich you are right now. But for the other more established coins, it is fairly normal to do a 4, 8, 12x in price just based off of normal market movements. This made incredibly popular news. Maybe it's on the next tab. Nope, there's no name there again as well. Where basically this I think it's a bank, came out and said that they are looking at Ethereum hitting $8,000 per coin. The significance is that they said that they don't see this happening. They do not think Ethereum will hit $8,000 until the year 2026. The problem with that is that historically, the halving happens. The market goes crazy for about a good 12, 13 or so months after the halving has taken place. And then we end up seeing, what do you call it? I lightly lost my train of thought. I completely it's gone now. I hate when that happens. How does that even happen? The point is they're expecting that after the bull run, there we go, that after the 2025 bull run, prices will continue increasing for another 9 months, swing into 2026, and then and only then will Ethereum have more than doubled in price, which doesn't make sense to how any other bear market has been, because we can logically say that by the end of 2025 and the beginning of 2026, we will be back in the prices drag down phase, because that's how it's always been for the last 4 and or 5 cycles. And then they say that they're expecting a $35,000 ether by the year, oh gosh, what is it? I think 2040 or something like that. And it's I think you guys aren't really paying attention to what's actually, it even says on the screen, if ether hits 8,000 per coin, the market cap is 744 billion. And now for context, Bitcoin's, I think, current market cap is $500 billion right now. And I think it hit, was it 1.6 or 1.7 trillion? Ether, I don't know how to tell people this. Ethereum's probably going to hit $10,000 during the next bull run. I don't know who's clutching their pearls at that, but that's probably exactly where things are going to go. However, the idea of Ether going to $8,000 in 2026 was a revelation for a lot of people, and it ended up making extremely popular news. It's good. Yeah, Standard Chartered. There we go. It says Ether, the native cryptocurrency of Ethereum, could potentially surge to 8,000 within the next 2 years, according to recent projections by global banking titan Standard Chartered. This optimistic view is anchored in the Ethereum's role in smart contracts, gaming, tokenization, yada, yada, yada. They also hinted at their long-term valuation between $26,000 and $35,000 per Ether by 2040. Supported by emerging real-world use cases. A lot of time now, I think sometimes people don't understand, and I don't want to use this term normally, the power of the cryptocurrency market and the power of FOMO. The reason why we always end up hitting these crazy valuations is because of the stragglers. It's a fairly commonly known thing within the cryptocurrency space. So, you know how you got into the cryptocurrency space years ago, or maybe at the beginning of this year, or maybe the end of last year, and you've been telling tons of people the potential of the market and how much money there is to make. It happens every single cycle. If you've been here before for multiple cycles, you definitely know, hey, prices are at X. The previous all-time high was so and so and so. You can definitely make X amount of money. There's a coin. I won't tell you what it is. Me and my friend were talking about it a couple days ago, and we figured out that the coin's current price is, I think, 9 cents right now. The previous all-time high was, I believe, $2.10. I think that was it. Some major coin. And we were talking, we were normally you see altcoins, especially big ones, tend to do a 3, 4, 5x, what have you. If you have this coin and it goes to $4, basically you've made a tremendous amount of money. And we were doing calculations, and it basically came down to if you put 5K into that coin, you would probably, if it went to $4, you'd end up with around $180,000 to $200,000. It's not the word's not science fiction. It's happened before in the cryptocurrency space. These are very, very normal numbers. But what ends up happening is the reason why we end up getting to that final push is that all the friends, all the family members who've been seeing you actively in the cryptocurrency space and probably, let's be honest, making fun of you behind your back because they see you buying as prices are going down. When prices do surge back up, the realization that they should have been buying for years becomes a very haunting thing to them. And these people are usually the reason why they push tons of money in, usually even at the end of the market cycle when things are very euphoric, because they want to try and make as much money as you. You've seen it before. All these people, once again, do not, DONOT, do not take out any loans for the cryptocurrency market. Red flag. Do not ever take out a loan and get yourself in debt for crypto. Do not ever do it. The stragglers who did not hear that because they don't watch my videos, they end up doing this. They push tons of money into the market, and that's where we end up hitting these crazy, insane valuations for a lot of these coins. They come in at the end of the height of the market. Market goes down. They go, I knew crypto was a scam. I knew crypto is like, well, you got in at the very, very end. That's how we end up hitting a lot of these numbers. I'm not really sure how this one bank in particular got to the idea that the most used blockchain is only going to less than double over the course of the next couple of years, especially with a end of 2026 valuation. I really don't think they understand how the market works or how cycles have been working within this market. But yes, very popular news. I think it's simply because it's Standard Chartered. They're talking about Ethereum going up. They threw out the number 35,000, which I think we could probably realistically get to way before 2040. But that's also because the more usage there is on the network, the more coins get burned. The more coins get burned, the higher the valuation of the coin. Higher the valuation of the coin, the more usage, the more network effect, blah, 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 blah. You get the entire idea. Very popular news. We are probably going to see a $9,000 to $10,000 Ether either sometime next year and or 2025. It's logically how things have always been. I would not be surprised if we get to a $11,000, $12,000, $13,000 Ether and then the market begins to slide back on down. But yeah, cool. Good job, bank, who has given a very weird price prediction. But we're also in that time frame, like I told you all before, where everyone, everything, every institution is talking about how high these things are going to go, because logically they probably have been buying behind the scenes for a long time. So you benefit as a bank or an institution by telling other people, or a billionaire, Paul Tudor Jones, how amazing and wonderful this market is because you're full. Like, you have as much crypto as you need. You've gone through the numbers. And if other people start buying and get into the market as well, guess what? You made a couple $100 million as well. That's the Standard Chartered UK bank told people on CNBC that they think that Ether's going to $8,000 in 3 years and then $35,000 in the year 2040. Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on. In Coinbase news, these people figure out how to put themselves in the news every single gosh darn day. And I saw this and I knew exactly what it was going to be about. And guess how unsurprised I was? Coinbase, the biggest US cryptocurrency exchange, is arguing that a recent proposal from the US IRS will endanger the industry and also the privacy of Americans. Now, understand that Coinbase is a company. That's a very important thing for you to know. I know that you know, but understand. Companies do not care about people. Companies are there for their shareholders and for the company itself. Coinbase continuously is on this really weird crusade where they keep trying to warn the American public of things that the government or the SEC is doing, and how they're trying to put up this Captain America-like shield that says Coinbase on it to protect you from this and protect you from that. And can you please contact your congressional, senatorial people? And in this case, they're talking about a proposed tax change for the American people when it comes to crypto, and also for cryptocurrency exchanges as well. The idea of your private life or privacy when it comes to the finances that you have. I rolled my eyes at this because Coinbase is like, no, we're going to fight against the IRS because this isn't right for Americans. And it's like, as far as I know, I do not work at Coinbase, but I have gone over a lot of Coinbase news over the last 7 or so years. Allegedly, multiple times, Coinbase has been accused of giving customer information to tax authorities because that's how government tends to work. They ask, you give. There is no, we're not going to do it. We're going to save the rights of our people who are on our platform. That's not how it works. This new tax change isn't anything that's like, oh my gosh, what? I think it's weird that we live in a world where we were told and have been told and are being told constantly by every country on the planet, cryptocurrencies will be taxed. Cryptocurrencies will have rules. Cryptocurrencies will be regulated. And then when we get news that the big bad monster comes out and says, I want the taxes from your crypto. Here are the regulations for your crypto. Here's the laws and rules for your crypto. People go, oh, what the fudge is going on? And everyone gets really scared and starts kicking up dust as if you didn't know this was going to happen. Show of hands. How many of you believed that there would never be any IRS rules or taxes on your crypto in the United States? I see one person in the back, but I can't really make out. I can. Are you holding up a sign? I can't really. It's way too far away. Like what's? I don't understand what Coinbase thinks their marketing is, but it ain't it. Everything they do is so weird and so like transparently odd. It like bothers me so much. The IRS has proposed a rule recently to formally define crypto brokers, that's Coinbase, and instruct them on how they and their customers can properly pay taxes. The idea is that governments widely believe that you are evading taxes in some sort of way. And this is why, pay attention, why we've seen such an active integration of Firefox into everything, of Visa into the cryptocurrency space, of PayPal into the cryptocurrency space. It's because they're actively trying to make sure that everything you do, everything you've done in the cryptocurrency space is accounted for, because they have companies like Chainalysis and the other one, what did they call? Big Money? No. Chainalysis and Santiment. And therefore, they know where all your money is going. The idea is that on the website, it's the same exact thing for those of you who do or do not use like apps that like deal with stocks. They like typically, I don't know where you are. Typically, they take out like your tax automatically from the actual thing. So like your taxes are kind of paid automatically. Everything is kind of basic, you know. You'd basically be able to, on Coinbase, have them tell you how much you have to pay. And in some cases, I don't know how advanced these companies are, they'd be able to simply like take the tax away for you, put it into a little box, and send it to the IRS so that you don't have to pay, you know, officially. You don't have to write down on a piece of paper. You'd simply already like pay your taxes automatically. Why this is revolutionarily scary, I'm not really sure, because you knew that you would have to do that in the first place. But Coinbase said in a comment letter to the agency on Thursday that the proposed rule represents an unprecedented, unchecked, and unlimited tracking on the daily lives of Americans. Listen here. I don't live in the States anymore. I grew up in the States. I told all of you that tens of thousands of times. And I even told all of you, but like, this isn't me telling you, like, I'm not like screaming at all of you specifically. I think I'm just getting out frustration of how dumb the world is. Like it is beyond measure at this point. When someone says the terms unprecedented, unchecked, unparalleled, this is an unlimited amount of tracking on the daily lives of amazing Americans. I told you, and you should all know as adults living on this planet, that everything you do is tracked. Everything is already unlimitedly tracked about your lives. What you buy, where you go. Have you ever walked into a store, took out your phone to check a message, and it says, hey, do you want to join this Wi-Fi? You know how they know? Because your phone is tracked by the store as well. The Wi-Fi pings that you walked into a store. You get pinged on towers and on Wi-Fi devices, even if you have not connected to them. The IRS, now listen. Once again, if you live in the States or are in any way affected by the IRS, you know how they work. The idea that Coinbase, and it's so slimy, because what do you expect? What do you expect the people who are on Coinbase, the users, you think these people are going to march to the IRS and say, no, this is far too much. We will not stand for this. What this probably is that Coinbase has to restructure their entire system to actually follow some other set of rules that they probably said that they didn't want to for a long time, or did not want to, or have not complied with for a while. Everything, and I mean read a history book, watch a documentary, since 2001, I'm winking, you can't see me, has been unprecedented, unchecked, and unlimited tracking of the lives of nearly everyone around the world. The IRS telling you that you have to pay taxes on your crypto and that Coinbase has to restructure their platform it's not the sky falling. They said these rules would establish an incomprehensible and unduly burdensome set of new reporting requirements that will degrade and displace the same taxpayer services the IRS is seeking to improve. Paying taxes in America is already terrible. Like, it's not like kind of bad. It is like the worst thing in the entire world. They were not trying to improve this in any sort. Like, that wasn't even remotely. Anyway, very popular news because the word Coinbase is there. For some reason, people keep putting Brian Armstrong on this really weird pedestal, as I think there's like a really weird people trying to make it seem like he's a hero of or within the cryptocurrency space, that he's doing something to change and make the lives of everyone in crypto better. But the problem is Coinbase keeps asking a lot, way too much, and like really weird things of the public all the time. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is what their public relations person is telling them that they should be doing in public to make it seem like, or try and change their image. But this ain't it. It's always very weird. It's always very slimy. I need all of you right now to go to your senators and your congressional leaders and call them and tell them we will not stand. It's like, what? You people are billionaires. You sit in the room with these people. Because they did not want to listen to you does not mean that you need 100 million people within the United States to take extra time out of their day. You know how much stuff we have going on in our own lives? I'm supposed to care what happens to Coinbase or Kraken or Gemini or Binance? It's all a little bit weird. I don't know what kind of identity crisis Coinbase is having right now, but for those of you who didn't get it, governments want you to pay taxes. That should not come as a surprise to anyone. And I assume whatever rule change they're trying to do is because the IRS believes, as do many other tax countries, that people are actively not paying taxes or not paying enough taxes. So when you talk about the idea of a central bank digital currency, they are doing that because they want to be able to track all payments even more so. The idea is the phasing out of paper so that everything can be accounted for. So they're already taking those rules and bringing them to crypto. And now, the sky is falling. Unprecedented and are you, I can't say that word. Have you been puffing? Like what? Anyway, I'm getting frazzled, and it's, yeah. I hope that you enjoyed my random ramblings as I continuously black out and sit here and go through the motions of the space is getting weirder and weirder by the day. I don't know what to say or how to place things anymore, but it's definitely hope things get maybe we just need like the market to go back up and then everyone will be like, happy and euphoric again, because weird times. I do hope you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.